Well, you join me today on another one of my historical adventures, which was starting in Somerset for a change, because I live on the Wiltshire-Somerset border. And we're starting by parking up in the village of Mells, and then we're going to head through the Wobbery Valley, which is packed full of historical fun. Looking forward to this, getting out. My walking boots on today instead of my Wellingtons. We're just entering into the village of Mells, which is a quaint, lovely little Somerset village. And one of my first stops on the walk is this ruined mill here. And it's really great to see these overgrown ruins of this mill here, which was the Fussell's Tool Works here at this point. Very interesting. So let's go and have a look around and see what we can find. The ruins of this mill are quite enchanting, and you can get a real feeling for people living here and working here, and there's still part of this structure left. Sluice here, ironing construction, would have been to control the flow of the water through the mill, but lovely area, very enchanting, very nice indeed. The old mill is quite interesting and part of the heritage of the area. Some people believe this woodland to be haunted and full of lots of strange and different things, but it's quite an enchanting area and there's lots to look at. I would put this mill and this structure here probably about 1890, maybe a bit earlier, may have even gone back a little bit further than that, but very interesting to see. And in this area there are more ruins wherever you look. Very interesting indeed, part of industrial archaeology, something a bit later, but still quite as interesting as all forms of history are. The people that worked here, the people that lived here, and the things that went on. Amazing to see how quickly nature takes over. If you take this was probably last used around 1900, 100 odd years, and you can see it's all crumbling and moss is taking over. Forget the old barrel there, but really interesting and a great place to be. History that you can feel in touch, modern archaeology, absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to leave this mill area now and walk off to a waterfall. You can see here the waterfall. Let's go and have a look at it. Well, this lovely waterfall is in fact drainage water which is pumped out through from the local quarries. But it really does make a picturesque break within the walk and looking at the history of the area. And just down from the waterfall is what they call the Mells River Sink, where water goes underground from this point and carries on for miles through caves. And at this point in the 1970s they found some prehistoric bones and some Roman and Celtic artifacts. I think the bones were dinosaur bones, so it is a true Jurassic river. So if we just look at it and wonder where the water actually sinks down there, there are diagrams online and things to show you, but it's difficult to actually see. But it sinks down from the riverbed here, I would say, looking at the ripples, about 20 feet from where we're stood, but who knows. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic place. At this area here you can start to see evidence of the old ironworks, which was the Fussell's Ironworks, which went on until the 1940s. But in this area here would have been a hive of activity, and in its peak there were over 300 workers here.
So I'm going to carry on now, walking down past this section here. And there's a trench which goes along here, which may have contained water wheels or quenching or a wheel of some sort here. And the extent of the ruin here is quite large, so it gives you a good feel for what might have gone on. Apparently it was a hellhole to work in. This track here, leading down to the main part of the ironworks, is reputed to be one of the most haunted areas of the woodland. So we walk on down here now towards the old ironworks. As I'm sat here, you can see the extent of the old ironworks behind me. It goes on for nearly a quarter of a mile, so it must have been an absolutely massive structure in its day. And pleased in some ways that it's been refurbished and being used for something positive. And at this point you can see mineral deposits oozing from the rocks as you walk down through. Quite interesting. At this point I then cross the river on the bridge. The path becomes more steep and challenging at this stage. Well, I've made it to Tedbury Camp, which is in fact the level of the Jurassic sea floor. This was stripped off ready for blasting and never blasted years ago. So it's the one place you can come and actually stand on what was the Jurassic sea floor, 198 million years old. Incredible, absolutely fantastic. And there's supposed to be some fossils here that you can see, so we'll have a look and see if we can see any. Well, just looking in the bank I can see a piece of Jurassic sea coral there, but that's about my limit at the moment, so I'll persist and see what else I can find. And looking down in the rock, fossils start to become evident the more you walk around. So there are fossils here, it's just a matter of accustoming your eyes to have a look at them. Truly incredible. So there are not many places that you can actually stand on the Jurassic sea floor, but this is one of them. So absolutely fantastic, hands-on history you can see, feel, touch, but it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, I couldn't leave our woodland walk adventure without coming to a fantastic piece of canal history. And this is our first sight of it as we get to the area, and it's called Murtry Aqueduct. So it's in an area called Murtry. So let's have a look at it. And already I can see that it's very well built, so it's an exciting structure. And we're now into the area where it is, and this is just one small part of it, which just resembles a bridge really. Let's go and have a look at this. So this is a small tunnel really. I haven't brought a torch with me, so I'll just have a quick look inside and it'll give you some idea of the height of it. doesn't go too far, and it's just blanked off at the other end, I think, by erosion. And there's a mark here inside the tunnel as well that would have been done when it was built. It says 1798. Well, looking at it, I'm sure that this tunnel here would have linked with the tunnel on the other side and would have been used for taking horses from one side to the other. It would have been a lot lower, obviously, but that was the idea behind it, I'm sure. And this is the second part of the aqueduct, which is a three-span for the aqueduct. It was never used. It was built and never, ever used. So, really incredible thing to see. And here's a slightly better view of it here, and you can see that it's still taking you over the River Mells, and it would have been a fantastic thing had it ever been used. So it's a great anomaly, really, and just across the border from Wiltshire, so on the Wiltshire-Somerset border, literally you could throw a stone and nearly end up in Wiltshire. So it's a fantastic place to come and see, and it would have linked in with the Somerset Coal Canal, was the idea behind it, all the way from Poole initially. So it never happened. And just down from the aqueducts is this small weir here that would have had a mill or something here years ago, with the remnants of a mill pond on the other side. Just nice, pretty, picturesque area, really. This area here where the canal was built but never used. You can see the bank in each side, and it would have been a great canal, I'm sure, had it ever been used, but never ever used at all. So interesting. So I'm going to take a little walk down here and see what we can find. If nothing, we'll end our adventure, I think, but great fun.